yomimasen. But if you want to say I don't really read newspaper, so you want to add the word read, not really. So not really we say amari formally. Informally we say amari, amari. The thing is, when using this amari, you have to use with negation. So amari on its own doesn't mean really, but without negation it wouldn't mean anything. So if you say amari yomu, that doesn't make sense. You have to amari yomimasen. I don't really read. So where to put this amari? You can put at the beginning, or you can put before the verb. So 新聞をあまり読みません。新聞をあまり読みません。You can say あまり新聞を読みません as well. If you want to say I don't watch TV at all, then at all we say 全然全然. But again, you have just like あまり, we have to use 全然 with negation, so ません or じゃない. If you want to say I don't like insects at all, you can say 全然虫が好きじゃないです or 虫が全然好きじゃないです right? The thing is, Japanese people use this 全然 with words like 大丈夫 which means it's fine or it's okay or it's alright or I'm fine 大丈夫 So some people say 全然大丈夫. This is a wrong usage, but people use it in colloquial speech. They say 全然大丈夫 to mean like don't worry, it's fine, like everything is fine. So 全然 actually refers to like don't worry or you know, it's not a problem. So I don't watch TV at all. You can say テレビを全然見ません。テレビを全然見ません。What about I don't cook? So the word to cook, do you remember how we said Japanese restaurant? We said 日本料理のレストラン, right? So 料理 is the word for cook or cuisine, but as a noun. If you want to say to cook as a verb, we say 料理する, 料理する. So the must form would be 料理します, right? So I don't cook at all, we say 全然料理しません。全然料理しません。If you want to say my mother doesn't cook at all, then the word for mother we say haha, haha, haha. So 母は全然料理しません。But this 料理します you cannot specify what you cook. So if you want to say I cooked pizza or I made pizza, then we have to use the word to make. So the word for to make is 作る, 作る. So can you make 作る into mass form? 作ります. So I make a pizza would be ピザを作ります. So I don't make pizza. Then you say ピザを作りません。ピザを作りません。What about I don't go outside at all? So that's 引きこもり. Have you heard of this word? 引きこもり is a person who stays at home all the time, doesn't want to go outside. I'm 引きこもり, I don't go outside. You go outside, so outside we say 外, 外. And to go out, to exit, to leave is 出る, 出る. So 外に出る, that's how you say to go outside. So in English you don't say to go to outside, but we do. 外に出る. So 全然外に出ません。全然外に出ません。You can say 引きこもりです。全然外に出ません。The word for to understand is わかる. Last form would be わかります. Right? わかります. And if you want to say I don't understand, you can say wakarimasen. If you want to say I don't understand it at all, you can say zenzen wakarimasen. I hope you don't feel that way after this lesson. I hope you understand things and learn things from me. Alright, so thank you for watching again, and in the next lesson I'll do the past tense, which will be fun. じゃあまたね。こんにちは、ジャパニーズアマのミサです。Today we are going to learn how to make the past tense of must form. So, for negation we changed must into mustn't, right? But for past tense we just changed the must into mashita. So I'll show you the examples. If you want to say I eat in must form, how do you say it? 食べます, right? 食べます. And I don't eat, it'd be 食べません. And I ate would be 食べました. And I also want to show you how to do past negative. So I didn't eat, we say 食べませんでした. So 食べません means I don't eat or I will not eat. And we add this でした. Do you remember this でした from adjectives? So, for example, if you want to say it was quiet, then do you remember how to say quiet? 静か, right? And if you want to say it was quiet, we say でした formally and 静かだった. So, ません negation and でした past tense. So, I didn't eat 食べませんでした. So it's kind of I didn't eat 食べませんでした. It's kind of longish, but you can do it. So let's say I saw the but you can do it. So let's say I saw the new movie. So the word for new, do you remember? 新しい. So new movie would be 新しい映画, right? And then I saw. So to see is 見る and must form is 見ます, right? And negation 見ません I don't watch. 見ました that's I saw. 見ました So I saw the new movie would be 新しい映画を見ました。新しい映画を見ました。If you want to make a sentence like Did you already watch the movie? So to make a question, did you? We just simply put the ka at the end, just like ですか like 美味しいですか Is it tasty? Is it delicious? We just can say 見ましたか Did you see? Did you watch? And the word for already, we say more. More is also the sound for cows. So I think in English you say oh, moo. In Japanese we say more. So it kind of sounds like already. More is also used like to show the frustration. That's enough. More. And if you use this more with negation like masen, then it would mean anymore. So if you want to say I don't watch anime anymore, which is a shame, 夢をもう見ません。アニメをもう見ません。But we're gonna use more as already here. So, did you already see the movie? 映画をもう見ましたか？映画をもう見ましたか？ And if somebody says 映画を見ました, you might want to ask what movie or what did you see? Do you remember how we say what? 何, right? But if you want to say what is in formal speech, we say something は何ですか? So we change 何 into none. But in the sentence what did you watch? We don't have to change 何 into none. So it will just be 何を見ましたか? 何を見ましたか? You can do the same for what did you eat? Can you try? 何を食べましたか? 何を食べましたか? And if you want to say what did you read? is the same. 何を読みましたか？何を読みましたか？ What did you watch? 何を見ましたか？ If you want to say I saw Spider-Man, we say Spider-Man. And how do you say to go? 行く and must form. 行きます right? So how do you say I went? 行きました。行きました。 Here I say I went to a store. So the word for store we say お店。お店。You can get rid of the o and say 店, but I personally often say お店. So I went to a store. Store, particle for to and to go. お店に行きました。お店に行きました。And if you want to make a sentence like where did you go? The word for where is どこ。どこ。So do you remember これ、それ、あれ。これ is near myself, それ that near yourself, あれ that kind of far-ish. And the word for here, we say ここ、ここ and there near you, around you, we say そこ and over there is あそこ. So ここ、そこ、あそこ. So they are related to これ、それ、あれ。どこ is quite easy to remember because it's similar to ここ、そこ、あそこ, right? And then どこ. So where did you go? In Japanese, you have to say, did you go to where? So we still have to use the particle に to. どこに is to where went. 行きましたか? I then 日本に行きました。日本に行きました。日本に行きました。行きました。How do you say I went to Japan last year? How do you say I went to Japan last year? So the word for last year we say 去年。去年。So 去年日本に行きました。去年日本に行きました。And if I 日本に行きました。And if I want to say with whom did you go? Then the word for who is did you go? Then the word for who is 誰。So with whom we say 誰と。So with whom we say 誰と。And you can just say 誰と行きましたか? And if your answer is with friends, then you can say 友達と行きました. Or you could just say 友達とです as well. But if you went alone, then the word for one person, we say 一人. But if you want to say alone or by myself or on my own, we say 一人で行きました. I went there alone. The word 行きました. I went there alone. The word for when is いつ. So here I want to say when is いつ. So here I want to say when did you go to Japan? Then we say いつ Japan. Then we say いつ日本に行きましたか? いつ日本に行きましたか? And if you went there last 日本に行きましたか? And if you went there last summer, you have to say last year's summer. So the word for last year, do you remember? 去年, right? 去年. And summer, it's 夏. You can remember you eat lots of nuts in summer. So you say 去年の夏 for last year's summer. So you can say I went to Japan last summer. 去年の夏日本に行きました。去年の夏日本に行きました。So we've learned a lot of things to the word for what is 何 who 誰 where どこ when いつ why. どうして or なんで I often use なんで in informal speech and どうして in formal speech. If I want to say why did you choose this, the word for to choose is 選ぶ. So can you make must form? 選びます. So the past tense is 選びました. So why did you choose this? So the word for this is これ, right? So これを選びました means I chose this. So the word for why is どうして, right? Or なんで. Let's use どうして here. So どうしてこれを選びましたか at the end. どうしてこれを選びましたか And if you want to say because it's cute, I chose this. You can say かわいいから選びました. かわいいから選びました. I'm going to explain this in later lessons, but we put the reason first in Japanese, so you can't really say 選びましたかわいいから. You can do that when you're speaking, because you can't always think the reason first, the reason comes later, but when you write, at least you have to say かわいいから選びました, the reason first. Anyways, we're gonna do this a bit later. Let's practice more past tense and past negative. Yesterday, I didn't go to work. So the word for work, do you remember? 仕事, right? And yesterday, 昨日仕事に行きませんでした. 昨日した. What about hang out with my friends? To hang out, we say 遊ぶ, right? And with friends, 友達と. So 友達と遊びました. 友達と遊びました. The word for to be late is 遅れる. To be late in English it's an adjective, but in Japanese 遅れる is a verb and it has る ending, so can you make the must form? 遅れます. And if you want to say I was late or I'm late now, then we say 遅れました. Sorry, I'm late. Then you can say すみません遅れました. What about I wasn't late? 遅れませんでした. What about I studied math in university? So university we say 大学. The first kanji means big and the second kanji comes from the word 学校, which is school, so like big school. 大学. In university, you can say 大学で, right? 大学で. The word for math is 数学. And to study is 勉強する. And the must form is 勉強します, right? So I studied 勉強しました. So in university I studied math. It would be 大学で数学を勉強しました. 大学で数学を勉強しました. But I talked to my friends in the cafe. So cafe is cafe. So to talk to friends, in English you use to, right? But we say talk with friends, like speak with friends. So with friends, do you remember? 友達と, right? So to speak is 話す. And the must form 話します. And the past tense 話しました. So in the cafe I talk to my friends. It would be カフェで友達と話しました. カフェで友達と話しました. So I want to ask you what you did on the weekend. So what did you do on the weekend? We say 週末は何をしましたか? 週末は何をしましたか? So some people probably work even on weekends. So you can say 週末は仕事しました for I worked on the weekend. Some people probably have studied Japanese. Then 日本語を勉強しました or you read a book at home, then at home うちで and then book read 本を読みましたうちで本を読みました Some people probably have watched TV, then うちでテレビを見ました You went to a cinema, then 映画館に行きました You listen to music, then to listen music, do you remember? 音楽を聴く So 音楽を聴きました So I want you to leave a comment and let me know what you did on the weekend or whenever. There are lots of new words in this lesson, but please review the words we've learned and see you in the next lesson. じゃあまたね。
Konnichiwa, Japanese Amo no Misa desu. Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to use the te form. And this lesson is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. Tokyo Treat is a fun and exclusive monthly snack box packed with Japan's coolest and craziest treats. Each month you'll get a rare Kit Kat flavor. This month it's matcha latte aji, the limited edition chips and noodles and the latest treats from Japan straight to you. Sakurako is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local makers across Japan, and each box is carefully curated with traditional and seasonal snacks like mochi, dorayaki, manju, and more, including signature Japanese teas and an exclusive homeware item. The theme for Sakurako is Moonlit Sakura. The snacks are all pink and Sakura themed. It's so cute. Sakura flavored cream. Tephon lesson from the Tokyo Treat snack. グミはよく噛んで食べてね。食べる、食べて、噛むを伝えよう。To fold, 折る becomes 折って like 折り紙、折る、折って、so, 折って気持ちを伝えよう here つる crane or 折り紙、is omitted, so つるを折って by making an 折り紙 crane. Tell how you feel. キットカットは紙パッケージ。切り取って折り紙を作ったら好きなものを折ってメッセージを書いてみよう。切り取って折り紙を作ったら切り取る切る to cut, but 切り取る to cut and then take, so to cut out 切り取る切り取って折り紙を作ったら so this たら can be translated as if or when once you make an origami. And to get the simple past tense, you have to know how to make the te form. 作る to make, 作って is in the te form. 作った this is the informal past tense. And then by adding ra after the ta, 作ったら that's how we say if you make one, when you make. 好きなものを折って fold or make an origami of something you like, whatever you want. メッセージを書いてみよう。Try writing a message. 楽しんだ後は未来のことを思って捨てずにリサイクルしてみませんか？楽しんだ後は楽しむ to have fun, to enjoy. 楽しんで is the te form, right? む becomes んで楽しんで and then んで becomes んだ in the past tense for the informal speech. 楽しんだ後 when you want to say after doing something, you want to use the simple past tense, informal past tense plus 後 Once you are done having fun, basically, after you had fun with the origami, 未来のことを思って、思う to think about the future, 捨てずに without throwing away, リサイクルしてみませんかしてみませんかてみる means to try to attempt to. So why don't you try? In Japanese, this てみませんか or てみない are used quite often to gently suggest others do the same. So saying リサイクルしましょう is okay, but it sounds quite direct. And in Japanese, the less direct, the more polite you sound. Like saying try recycling sounds more doable and nicer to Japanese people.